Hi, PAD 744. This is Professor Rose. We're up to topic 2, the Porto Alegre case study. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the case study and a little bit about the process of working as a team. So the case study is based on a real case, which is Porto Alegre in Brazil. And they have been very active in participatory budgeting and have become the model for much of the world, actually. There's been a lot of research that's been done on them. So you have not only the case study, but links to other research that has been done, and there's plenty more out there. So the idea is to read the case study, think about it. There's a handout that offers a series of questions to guide you in the analysis. This week there are more numbers that we're looking at. We're looking at currency and money involved, and we're also looking at the demographics and how that process impacts the actual budgeting. And there's some assumptions that can show you how much you can get a population involved in the budgeting process. A note on this, the currency in Brazil is called the reais. It's spelled R-E-A-L, and the abbreviation for that is a capital R, the same way that US dollars have an abbreviation of a dollar sign. So a good thing to do when you're working on this is to show how many reais are equal to US dollars to do a conversion. And the date is you can put the date, but obviously we're not really looking at the amounts in any real matter because it's a historical document. But just good to show that, but we want to get a sense of the scale, and we want to get a sense of how much money is involved relative to the population, what's the amount of money per person. And we will be using this case, and the concepts of participatory budgeting later on in the class. Many of you have asked me, how do the cases tie together? In this case, we're looking at Porto Alegre, which really created the participatory budgeting movement. And we are moving later in the semester, we will look at the New York City participatory budgeting process, which is a work in progress. It keeps expanding, and it's based, I forget how many districts now are using it, but that will be our final case for the class. So the concepts we learn here and think about here, we will carry over to the end of the class. And I would also encourage you to go back to week 1 and look at the basic articles on budgeting, the intro to budgeting, the Starling article, and I will also post some other basic articles about budgeting process that should be helpful. So that's the assignment for the week. And I know most of you have found your groups or in the process of working out the logistics. I cleaned up the discussion boards, and there should just be one discussion board per group. And then if the groups decide after they've submitted their memos, they would like to share with the class. It's not obligatory, but if you do want to see what other people are doing, there is a discussion board now where each group can share their memo. I would ask you to share the memo after you submit it, but also if you find other information on the case as you do research, feel free to put it there. I know everyone's busy and you may not have time to look at all the different places on the site, but there is a place for that. So hopefully that clears some of that up. I would also suggest in the process, I don't know how many of the teams have had a conversation about who is the team leader for each assignment. Always a good idea to know in advance when it's your turn, and also to sort it out how that works with your schedule. I had initially said that everyone could just go in the order that they're listed, but that might not work for people, and people might have different interests or timelines. So if your team can work with you on that, that's great. I would also say that depending on who is the team leader, let everyone know what your time frame is and when you need to get their material, and when then you will draft a memo and get it back to everyone, so that they might want to review it before it is submitted. I don't know how many of you have discussed your strengths and weaknesses with each other. Everyone obviously comes from different backgrounds. There's a lot of expertise in this class already. And so, and some people are strong with numbers. Some people are really friends with numbers. Some people really like numbers and money. And other people are more, they like to look at the policies and the process. So the more people can bring their skills to bear and the more the group can work with each other. Some people are great writers, some people are great organizers. So it is a team effort. Um, and so the more we can share and work with each other's schedules, I know it's complicated. People are from all over the country in this class, and people have very different work schedules. So, um, but it is not a synchronous class, it is asynchronous. So people do not have to be online at the same time, but the more people can know each other's schedules, it would be good. I know it's it's already Friday and the assignment is due on Sunday. So let me know if that is a problem. Um, but, and as you know, when we work in groups, um, everyone, there's a handout online about how to analyze a case and how to work as teams. One wants to look at the overview and the detail. Some of you are already drafting your responses in a memo format in the sense that there's bullets and you're organizing it so that it could be put into a memo. But I would also encourage you to look at the overview and understand the basics behind the logic before winnowing it down to how the memo is going to look. So I hope that's helpful, and I look forward to reading your responses. And just a reminder, next week is school break, so you're welcome to work ahead. I will be posting more of the material for week 5, which is an individual project, and week 8, so you can see what that's going to be like. And all the other weeks involve cases and conceptual material. And the other thing I will post, which is not up there, is a logic model. I will talk more about that in another video. Take care. Thanks a lot.